It's the big one. Danks Furniture's end of financial year clearance sale. Up to 50% off locally made lounge suites, dining tables and designer Nordic furniture. Danks Furniture, the comfort of home.
A very good evening and welcome to Hale Hockey Club for what is round 11 of the Hockey WA Premier Grade. It is Hale taking on Fremantle. Hale currently sitting third on the ladder, Fremantle in fifth position. Just like to acknowledge our sponsors again, the Varsity Bar and of course Danks Furniture, but also the Bunting Group. From remote mine sites to residential homes, the Bunting Group delivers quality assured, cost-effective building and maintenance services to meet your needs. We're turning our attention to the team lineups first of all, and there's a few changes to the Hale lineup from last week. Ian Hrobela misses out as Braden King comes back into the starting lineup. Liam Flynn is still away. I was told last week he was at a funeral in Europe. He was actually at a wedding in Europe, so he is still away. But of course, Sam McCulloch, wearing 22, came in and scored 4 goals on debut, and no doubt they'll be hoping he can do the same again today. Players I believe you need to look out for today are Jack Faulkner, Blake Wallace in defence alongside Braden King and Benji Austin. Their defence is going to be crucial. Jack Henharan coming in at the last minute to replace Ollie Higgins in goal. Turning our attention to Fremantle, and of course Ben Rennie is in goal for them, former Hale stalwart under the bar, and he'll be looking to keep a clean sheet against his former club. They've got some experience in former internationals Matt Bird and Tim Deavin, and of course they've got the Australian development players coming through in Aaron Hazel and Gobindraj Gill, very good players, and Jimmy McPherson, of course, having just played his 300th Premier League game the other week. So they've made 4 changes from the team that were victorious last week, and they'll be looking to try and continue their winning ways and maybe leapfrog Hale at the halfway point in the season. I'm Ashley Morrison, guiding you through this afternoon's action and looking forward to what should be a really close game. As I mentioned, Hale sit third on the ladder. Melville atop with 23 points, Wolves on 20, and then Hale on 19. And then we have Fremantle on 18 points, and also there just below them, Fremantle on 17 points, along with UWA, Reds and YMCC all on 17, and then Vic Park on 16. So it's extremely close at the halfway stage of the season. Fremantle, the team that nobody likes playing because they are a physical side, they are a skillful side when they turn it on, and they can cause you problems. Tim Deavin, of course, played at Hale for many years, took on the role as player-coach a couple of years ago, and has now got them sitting mid-table when they'd been sort of lurking in the bottom half for a couple of seasons. And finally it's beginning to click for him down there. It is a rather chilly evening here up on the hill. A strong breeze blowing, no rain as yet, but some grey clouds scudding across the skyline at the moment. And you feel there may well be a shower a little bit later. Hale already in place, waiting to get things underway. Fremantle coming out. And I should just give a warm welcome to Tracy and Stuart Belts, the parents of Hayden and Josh Belts, who I believe are catching all of the games live, when they come up on the YouTube channel, the Hale YouTube channel, where all the home games for both the men and the women will be in 2022. So it is Hale that get us underway in the light blue. Austin put under pressure, ball stolen away straight away, and a chance for Fremantle, and it's scored straight away. No messing around there. Hazel opening the scoring, and there are literally just 20 seconds gone. So a mistake at the back, and really just pressure applied, and then a really good, classy finish. The perfect start for Fremantle, and Aaron Hazel, the man from Tamworth, who was the 2016 Tamworth Sports Star of the Year. Aaron Hazel. Well, he'll be happy with that. That's his 8th goal of the season, and he had 7 in 6 games. So they make that now 8 in 7 games for Aaron Hazel. Hale looking to come back almost immediately. Held up at the edge of the circle. Good defence again. Welsh now. Hale get it back though. Wallace looking to calm things down in the defensive line. Comes wide this time to Jorgensen. Jorgensen plays it down the line. There's a little shove for McCulloch. No subtlety in that one from Patrick Lawther. Advantage was played, but we have another free hit in the corner. Hayden Belts has Jorgensen behind him. Jorgensen had to stretch to keep that in play. Umpire was unsighted. I think it did just probably cross the sideline from where I am. Deavin plays it out. Josh Belts collects for Hale. Drills it in. Great deflection, though. It was a defensive deflection that time. That was Darryl McCormick. Again, a great stalwart for Fremantle Cockburn as they are now. Fremantle Cockburn. They were Fremantle for so long, but moved down into the city of Cockburn to their new Lakelands ground. Jimmy McPherson to Gill. McPherson takes it quickly. Deavin now playing it forward. Wallace just got a touch and he needed to. Otherwise, Harrison Kemo would have been in behind the defence. And Henharan would have been put under pressure immediately. That's taken a deflection off the stick of Deavin, so it'll be a long corner for Hale. Hayden Belts again over the ball for Hale. Nothing on. Deavin closes down quickly. David Guest, the veteran. Gill misses that one, put his teammate under a little bit of pressure, but watched it all the way onto the stick. Great diagonal pass, but Welsh this time, Jack Welsh that is, unable to get it under control. There is another Welsh playing, Joe Welsh for Hale, so we'll try and differentiate between the two. Just remember that Jack is the one with the shaven head. A good steal from Josh Belts. Good defensive play coming back from Fremantle. Belts held up edge of the circle and really good work in the end to get the ball out. Happy to go into the defensive circle. McCormick. Angle pass. Kept in play well by Welsh. Welsh now accelerating over halfway. Did really well and good skills again. Just into the turf and round the defender. Plays it to the back post, but there's a long corner. It took a deflection. First to appeal for that was Jimmy McPherson. So again, McPherson will take this. Goes back to McCormick. Plenty of pace on that pass, brought under control well by Spencer. Into the circle it goes. Carried out by Austin. Lost it again at the edge of the circle, but the free hit goes his way, this time against Hazel. The man who stole possession in the first 20 seconds and put Fremantle Cockburn ahead. So Hale again trying to go on the attack. Goes back to Wallace. Austin sitting deep. Belts comes back to help out. Austin again. Hayden Belts now. Welsh closes down. There's no whistle still. It comes eventually. Hayden Belts was calling for that early. So just over 5 minutes gone. It's been a sprightly start as everyone expected. James Laughlin unable to keep that one in play. James Lachlan, who's about to become a father for the first time in August. Austin again. Played that far enough away from Spencer. Wallace will be closed down by Spencer. Jorgensen goes back to Wallace. Now the angle pass, and it's missed by King. Braden King, who was rested last week with an ankle issue, had a run out with the twos in midweek and back in the starting lineup today. So Lachlan goes back to Gobindraj Gill. Gobindraj Gill gets it back again now. He's put under pressure by Faulkner, just pulls away. Faulkner's stolen it though. That's good work by the youngster. Deavin in the end comes back and helps out his defence, plays it forward sharply. Keema slips as he's trying to go forward, appeals for a free hit from Hale, not given. Jorgensen keeps possession. He's put under pressure by Welch and then by Deavin. Still keeps possession. Good play by Jorgensen. And now it's King. That's a good pass forward if Faulkner can keep it in play, but unfortunately just couldn't get around it and get it under control. So Gill goes square. Gobindraj Gill, who plays for Northwest Grads in Tasmania, made his debut as a 15-year-old for them back in 2014 as the club that Eddie Ockenden came through. And that was played forward for Keema, but Hale come up with the ball. And that's just too much. Asking a lot of Jorgensen there. Lovely touch from Deavin just to take it away from Josh Bowen. Fremantle got numbers coming forward, especially going through the middle. It was a good acceleration from Deavin, and it's a good pass now. Tate into the circle it goes. Desperation. Good defence from Guest to keep it away from Welsh. Gill coming across that time. And a mistrap on the side. We'll see Hale with a chance to go on the attack again. Bowen comes across. Wants to get on with things quickly. Gray now. And Fremantle really putting pressure on the midfield of Hale so far in this match. Not giving them any time on the ball. Strong challenge on Bowen. Bowen, though, misdirects his pass, and it's a good, quick pass from McPherson finding Keema. Keema has Deavin in support. Coming up on the outside is Kieran Abbott. Keema beats one, can't get past the second. Hale have possession again. That's a good pass forward, but unfortunately for Hale, Jeff Cock couldn't get it under control. Gill, mistrap from him. He's given it away for Hale, and Ashton goes on the attack. Ashton thought he'd got round Gill. Gill came back, and it's a free hit, though, to Hale. Ashton wants to leave it behind for Josh Belts. Belts drives towards the circle. I don't think it went 5 metres, but it's in there now. Across the face of goal, cleared towards the baseline. Numbers there for Fremantle Cockburn, and then thrown to the air. Guest will get that under control. Fremantle having a scramble a little bit there. King plays it quickly as he was closed down by Tate. Gray this time playing it forward, and it's off the Hale stick. So 16 to Fremantle. McPherson may have seen he celebrated 300 Premier League games last month. And I was just asking because we celebrated it last year, 300 games, but that was 300 games for the club. And it was 300 Premier League games for the club in May this year. Been a terrific servant. Was club fairest and best back in 2012. Into the circle it goes. Good work again inside the circle. keeping that away from Faulkner. And Fremantle again looking to a counter-attack. Tate out wide. 4 minutes left now in the first quarter. Stolen back by Hale just before the 23-metre line. And the deflection should break kindly. They may let that one run over the side. McCulloch does. Leaves it for Josh Belts. Belts goes back to Benji Austin. Jorgensen to Guest. Belts dropping in the pocket. It's going to be closed down quickly that time by Hazel. Belts does well though. Hazel again has to double back as Belts change direction quickly. Jorgensen. And the forwards for Fremantle Cockburn working hard. It's a good pass forward to Bowen. Let it just run, and pouncing quickly was Matt Bird to get it back for Fremantle. Gill feeds it to Bird. Bird again happy to go back into the defensive line. Having to scurry a little bit there was Lawther. Forward now to Xander Fraser. Fraser who moved across from Old Aquinians, or Reds as they're better known. Guest gets it under control, scans what's available ahead. As soon as he got that under control, his head was up, looking where he could pass. Given away though by Bowen. Don't say that too often. It's a good recovery by Josh Belts, and a little bit of afters coming from Aaron Hazel. So Hazel will leave it now for James Lachlan. Lachlan self passes. Goes to McCormick. Daryl McCormick, angle pass towards the top of the circle. And free hit goes Hale's way. It was Hazel who just, I think, lifted it as he tried to get it under control, and it went into the body of the Hale player. McCulloch couldn't get that down. Again, chance to play it out for Fraser. Fraser cuts infield. McCulloch steals it off him. Great chance for McCulloch. Into the circle he goes. Finds the foot. First penalty corner. And it goes the way of Hale. Is this their chance to get back on level terms with a minute and a half left in the first quarter? First penalty corner of the game. And normally, of course, Liam Flynn would be their first choice option. Not here today. But they still have plenty of other options. Joe Welsh is on there. McCulloch himself is quite happy to flick from a penalty corner, and it is those two players lining up. McCulloch at the first battery, Joe Welsh at the second. Gray stopping for McCulloch, Josh Belts for Welsh. And they switch. And it's a good block by the first runner. Brilliant work again by McCormick. And the free hit goes against Hale that time. Matt Lewis penalised for, I think it was obstruction. Well, Lewis there just kicking the ball away. A little bit lucky not to get a green card in my opinion. He was beaten by Lachlan and just put his foot out to kick the ball over the side. That was a good tackle though. Belts gets it and trying to get back, and Bird not happy. And the decision though goes to Hale, and there's still a little bit of afters now. McPherson comes in between Belts and Bird. Watch that one. Declan Spencer plays it forward. Good reaching touch from David Guest. Gives a long corner away to Hale with 25 seconds left on the clock. Thrown across the face of goal. And this time James McPherson can't get it under control. And that may well be the last play of the first quarter. No, Hale wanting to get on with it quickly. Jorgensen needs to get it forward if they are going to use it. Fraser Looks up at the clock and then just kills the time. So that is the end of the first quarter. It's been exciting, it's been fast, and it's been end-to-end, but it is Fremantle have the lead courtesy of an Aaron Fraser goal after just 20 seconds, meaning that at the end of the first quarter, it's Hale 0, Fremantle Cockburn 1.
It's the big one. Danks Furniture's end of financial year clearance sale. Up to 50% off locally made lounge suites, dining tables and designer Nordic furniture. Danks Furniture, the comfort of home.
Players making their way out, or the Hale players making their way out, still in a huddle are Fremantle Cockburn. Listening to the words of Tim Deavin, no doubt wanting them to get through to half-time, still with no goals conceded. They've had 2 clean sheets, though, so far this season, Fremantle Cockburn. Hale have yet to achieve that, and they're not going to achieve it today, trailing by 1-0. Once again, just like to acknowledge the Varsity Bar opening a new store at the old Sizzler site next to the cinemas in Innaloo in the next couple of months. And the Bunting Group delivering quality assured, cost-effective building and maintenance services to meet your needs. If you've got any building done, commercial or residential, please contact the Bunting Group. Second quarter underway. Josh Baltz tries to throw it forward, eventually gets through to McCulloch. Came up off the stick of McCormack, who's still complaining, saying it was just bobbling up, and he reckons it was off the Hale plat. So Baltz, centrally, just outside the 23-metre line, takes a touch, ricochets off Deavin's stick. Welsh quickly picks it up for Fremantle, slips, and that's a bad collision. And Blake Wallace, I think it is, who's gone down. Oh, Blake Wallace, who got a horrible finger injury a couple of years ago. Pleased to say he's back up on his feet. Now, one interesting statistic for today's match is there are 10 players playing in this game who hail from Tasmania. Blake Wallace being one who was born there but didn't grow up there. But there are 9 other players that hail from Tasmania playing in this match. If you want to see if you can name them, we'll come back to you with which players they are shortly. So Hale desperately looking to get back into this match, and that will help them. Ball played over the sideline from a free hit, gives them cheap possession. Wallace now going to be closed down by Keema. That's deflected again. Who's that come off? It is going to be a long corner. Jorgensen over the ball for Hale. Goes back to Wallace. Guest is square. Again, it's good work by Keema, and it's given away again by Hale. Great run coming forward. Looking to feed Keema. Slipping, though, that time was Bird as he came forward. And that's come off the shin pads of Bird. I was talking to someone from Fremantle, and they said if Matt Bird and Tim Deavin are on their game, they're a tough side to beat, as Gill does well coming forward this time. Over the 23 metres he goes, deflected away by Hale, but given straight back to Fremantle. Deavin now into the circle. Good tackle, top of the circle from Jorgensen. One back by Deavin, but illegally, says the official. Marcus Jorgensen, Hale boy, recently left, and was the danger, I have to ask there. There's a bump that time from Austin. In it goes to Welsh. Off his line is Henharan. And luckily for Hale, it goes wide. And Benji Austin is going to pick up a green card. That's not proving to be the most enjoyable of evenings for Benji Austin so far. Another Northwest Grads player. Also came through the Tasmanian Institute of Sport. Deavin and Gill. Comes back to Fraser again. That's a tricky ball for Gill to get under control from Fraser. And not surprisingly, doesn't manage to do so. So Hale down to 10 at the moment. Bowen over the ball. Just gives it straight to McPherson. Bird to Deavin. And a good pass to Welsh. Great tackle, David Guest. Timed it to perfection. Now there's a little bit of space for Hayden Belts to come forward into. Belts' pass was just caught Matt Lewis on his heels a little bit there. Into the circle it goes, and Rennie kicking that one clear. And then eventually Bird it was who helped it over the baseline, or it's over the sideline it is. 3 players in a wall preventing that ball getting into the circle. So Fremantle have the second best defence in the competition at the moment, with UWA only conceded 18 goals in their 10 games so far. Only Melville with a better defensive record have conceded just 10. Again, it's Wallace to the rescue, making sure the ball doesn't find Keema. And that time Jorgensen gets the final touch. It'll be another long corner for Fremantle as we enter the final 10 minutes now of the first half. Gill had to hurry a little bit as Austin comes back on the field of play. McPherson had room to turn in midfield, but his pass didn't manage to find Tate. Kieran Abbott had the stick up in the air. Josh Belts dispossessed. Great tackle again from Deavin that time, and Jorgensen, the man to the rescue. Belts plays on, forcing Aaron Hazer to run backwards. Wallace now. Austin tries the angle pass. He picked out Hayden Belts but didn't get it under control, and now again it's back with Fremantle. Fraser comes wide to Gill once more. Gives it away to Diamondbacks Hayden Belts. Sliding forward, and that's a brilliant pass off the ground. Into the circle come Fremantle, looking for a foot across the baseline it goes, and it's a long corner being given. Again, it's Deavin, takes it quickly, deflected top of the circle. I think it, though, just came off the foot maybe of Jimmy McPherson. And Hale bursting forward. Good pass to pick out Hayden Belts, and lovely return pass to McCulloch. McCulloch prevented getting in the circle, though, by an even better tackle from Xander Fraser. And that looked like it caught the foot of Austin, and it did indeed. So Gill now just told to slow things down. Xander Fraser was a brilliant tackle on the edge of the circle. He actually won the John Houston Memorial Trophy at Reds in 2017. That's their fairest and best trophy. Braden King brings it down for Hale. Comes infield for Bowen. Bowen looking to try and help that one on, but McPherson shadowing him all the way. Good pass finds Spencer. Spencer evades the first tackle and then slips the ball wide to Nick Tate. Tate over the top to Hazel. Hazel looks to cut infield. Hazel trying to get inside the circle. Gray got a very important touch. It's back with Tate. Tate tries to square it, and a good touch again, just taking it away from McPherson, that time coming from Josh Bowen. So Fremantle looking very dangerous when they go into attack. Still leading Hale by 1-0. Win to Fremantle would see them leapfrog Hale on the league ladder. Abbott gets another free hit for Fremantle Cockburn. Nick Tate comes forward to take that. Deavin was just outside the circle, otherwise it would have been a Hale free hit. McCulloch now driving forward, and that's again brilliant from Xander Fraser. Read the pass so well. That was aimed for Faulkner. Now it's Gill. Gill forced on an angle. Finds Welsh. Bowen comes back, gets goal side. Welsh goes square, and it ricochets this time off James Loughlin and out of play. 6 minutes left in the first half. Hale looking for an equaliser before the long break. Welsh has it now for Fremantle Cockburn. Good skills from Jack Welsh. Spencer. Spencer gets a free hit for his side. Just has to take the ball back a few metres where the offence occurred. Lawther goes back to Fraser. Just goes over the side, that time off Cock. Patrick Lawther, who of course spent a long time with Curtin University. Was with Fremantle many years ago before he went to Curtin, so basically they will say he's returned from the wilderness. Gill to Tate. Tate through the legs of Belts, and the free hit will go his way because of that, even though Joe Welsh got the ball off him. So 4.5 minutes left. Spencer trying to turn there, but left the ball behind. Deavin trying to get the better of Josh Belts. Belts took that a long way away from where the free hit was awarded, and now just caught, I think, as they were complaining. And in the end, two Fremantle players colliding, and it's back with Hale. Josh Belts plays it forward to Faulkner now. Faulkner, in fact it was Gray, my apologies. Long corner to Hale. Guest comes forward, throws it into the air. That's asking a lot, but Benji Austin plucks it from the air with his stick. Into the circle it goes, but Sam Ashton that time couldn't get it under control when his team really needed him to. Aaron Hazel down below me takes a breather. Aaron Hazel played in the Sultan of Johor Cup in 2019. Bird helps that one on, but Guest, it's almost like a ramp shot in cricket from Bird. Ashton trying to shield the ball, but again, good defensive play that time from James Loughlin. Jorgensen lets it run over the side, so it'll be a Hale ball. Jorgensen goes infield now to Gray. Gray's been fairly quiet this first half. He'll want to get a few more touches in the second half as Josh Belts now tries to weave his way through four players. Got the pass away to the top of the circle. Lewis trying to win it back for Hale. Gets a free hit. Lewis plays on. Didn't go 5 metres though. I think he's saying that the defender took a touch. So if the defender then steps forward, takes a touch. And that one not being able to keep in play from Declan Spencer. Excuse me if you caught that language there for behind us. So Austin from the side now for Hale. And again, it's too narrow down the sideline. And possession goes back to Fremantle with 2 minutes left on the clock until half-time. Des King, coach of Hale, I'm sure will want to sit his team down at half-time and just try and restructure a little bit, because the midfield at the moment, you feel Fremantle are just swamping Hale and closing them down really quickly. A couple of brilliant intercepts, though, coming from that man, Xander Fraser. Tate trying to keep it alive. Great acceleration from Tate. Gets past another player. Still keeps possession. Leaves it now for Welsh. Jack Welsh. Welsh has good stick control. Gets inside the circle now. Jack Welsh goes up in the air with the 3D skills. Looked like he took it over the baseline, but the long corner has been given. Fed wide. And that's going to come to naught. Laughlin's pass going over the baseline. So into the final minute. Hale go long with the pass. Again, I'm not sure what that was blown for, because Lewis was certainly 5 metres away and made no attempt to go towards the person bringing the ball down. So there was, in my opinion, no danger. A Guest over the ball. He will, you think, just again throw it long just to run the clock down. It has gone high. Fremantle Cockburn bring it down, but they're not going to play it forward as the hooter is about to sound, and it does. And that is the end of the first half. And not surprisingly, there are handshakes all around from the Magpies players, who are very happy with that first half performance. Their goal in the opening minute, the difference between the two teams as they head into half-time. It is Hale 0, Fremantle Cockburn 1.
For the mid-afternoon naps, for the midnight marathons, for bringing the family together, for a chance to escape from the world, for the good times and the other times, for the years of support. Danks Furniture, the comfort of home.
Half time here at the Hale turf. As you can see, Fremantle just hearing the words of advice from their coach. Still 1-0 on the scoreboard to the visitors. Hale 0, Fremantle 1. Aaron Hazel scoring after just 20 seconds at the start of this match. And just like to once more acknowledge our sponsors from the far north to the Great Southern and everywhere in between. The Bunting Group has engaged in building and maintenance projects and delivered high quality work on time. If you've got a building project, please contact the Bunting Group. And of course, Varsity, the perfect pre-movie meal coming your way later this year when the Varsity Bar opens at the old Sizzler site in Innaloo. Now, I did mention that there are 10 players from Tasmania playing in this match, and for those of you that wanted to try and work it out, Tim Deavin, Gobindraj Gill and Jack Welsh for Fremantle Cockburn, and then you got Benji Austin, Hayden and Josh Belts from Hale, Jeff Cock, and as I mentioned, Blake Wallace was born there, David Guest and Sam McCulloch for Hale. Fremantle making their way out onto the turf. No doubt they're keen to get on with things. Ben Rennie looking to keep another clean sheet if he can. Would love to do that against his former club. And to be fair, Jack Henharan in goal for Hale. Not had that much to do. And was just caught cold right at the start of the game. It was a very good finish from Aaron Hazel. And for those who are Hale supporters, I should just say that Hale have not lost at home to Fremantle Cockburn in the last 5 years. So there's a stat for you if you feel that the home side can get up, as Jack Welsh gets the second half underway, even though both of his players on the far side were ahead of him before he even played the ball. So just showing the intent that Fremantle have, and that was looked a little bit late with the push. So how you feel are going to have to match Fremantle's desire to get the ball and also the physicality. Good work again from Wallace. Pushed it through the legs of Kemo. The Kemo put a hand in the back. The umpires missed that. And then it's won back by Bird, and Kemo gets a free kick edge of the circle. So I'm sure Wallace won't complain, but he'll feel a little bit hard done by that he didn't get the decision go his way. He's come out brilliantly to make that tackle. Wallace going forward as Lewis carries it. And Gill gets it. Lewis tries to get it back, and Ashton left his stick behind and was just trying to get out of the way there. Fraser. Oh, and it's a mistrap by McCormick at the back. You don't see that too often. Probably have to wait another 10 or 15 games to see him do that again. Darryl McCormack won the Olympians medal for the fairest and best in the competition in 2007. Guest came out, stole that, and that was very lucky for Hale that it was just deflected away. Short pass, Deavin into the circle. Welsh is there, drills it. Henharan blocks on his line, picked up brilliant, and that's a strong tackle from Hayden Belts. And is it a stroke, I think, being awarded? It was Hazel who went flying in the air. In fact, it's a penalty corner that's being given. And McPherson in a fairly vociferous conversation there with Benji Austin. Hazel up on one knee now. Aaron Hazel, as I mentioned, from New South Wales. Hayden Belts from Tasmania. So it is the first penalty corner of the match for Fremantle as they look to stretch their lead. Hazel again, very slow to make it to the huddle, and the huddle breaks up just as he gets there. So Jack Welsh will wait at the top of the circle. Harrison Kema doing the stopping. Alongside him is Aaron Hazel at the second battery. Well, the whistle went, but they must have just gone just before. So Belts, who gave away, that's Hayden Belts, who gave away the penalty corner, now leaves his team one man short defensively. Comes out and it's bobbled up. Hazel somehow kept it in control. Deavin shoots and it goes wide. And Hale will feel a little bit relieved. A comedy of errors there. Intercepted well. Not the best of passes. Keema looking to feed it forward to Deavin, and maybe a year or so he might have kept that in play. Deavin unable to that time, and it's missed in the midfield. Lewis gets it under control for Hale. Got a little nudge in the back. Got another one that time coming from Lawther. You just feel the umpires are going to have to keep a tight rein on this, or it could just get away from them. The physicality levels just going up a notch in this third quarter. Ball played square to Gill in the defensive line. He plays it now forward to Fraser. And Fraser is looking to keep it going to Spencer, but just dribbled off his stick over the sideline. Jorgensen trying to slap it down the line, but again it just got caught in the end of his stick and went over the sideline. That's a misdirected pass. Gray collects it, feeds it forward quickly. Lovely turn by McCulloch. And it's going to be a long corner to Hale. Again, there was a bit of bumping and barging going on inside the circle. So Gray over the ball for Hale. Can they find an equaliser early in this third quarter? Comes wide to Braden King. Hayden Belts gets it under control for Hale. Another long corner. Braden King thought about taking it, leaves it in the end for Josh Belts. Belts throws it in the air, wide, brought down by Benji Austin. Into the circle he goes, laid it back. Lewis was there, but it's Jack Welsh who comes out with it for Fremantle Cockburn. He's lost it now, and it's Hale back inside the circle, and it's a penalty corner. Good work being done inside the circle. So Hale with their second penalty corner of the match. So Hayden Belts makes his way to the baseline. Second battery, Benji Austin. He would love to atone for the mistake that led to the first goal. Sam McCulloch at the first battery, looking to add to his 4 goals in his debut game last week. They go to McCulloch. McCulloch, it's a mistrap. It's come back to Belts. It's another penalty corner given. So Hale will get a second bite of the cherry. These games between these two teams historically have averaged 5.2 goals a game. Not sure we're going to see that today, although we might have a flurry in the last 26 minutes. So McCulloch again at the first battery. Austin at the second. Belts traps McCulloch again. Great running by the first runner. Jorgensen gets it for Hale and spins away from Welsh. Fraser was there, but it's Josh Belts who gets it. Was he impeded by the run coming across? I think he was. McCormack just winding back the years of experience and just breaking up that attack for Fremantle Cockburn. Into the circle it goes. Long corner again. Very important touch. That was Fraser again. Xander Fraser, product of King's College in Auckland. Goes wide now. Jorgensen. Jorgensen prevented from getting inside the circle. Carried out by Gill. Gill goes infield and Tate lets it onto his foot. Lewis gets on with it quickly, but he couldn't get the pass through 2 Fremantle Cockburn players. And Lewis has done well to get it back again off Tate. Squares it, top of the circle. In it goes, and Hayden Belts was there taking a tumble. There's McCulloch. No whistle, though. This ball comes forward to halfway for Hale. Comes wide again onto the left-hand side to Jorgensen. Great pass. And unfortunately, Ashton couldn't get anybody on the end of that one. So a good spell of pressure from Hale, but still no goals from them. And Fremantle from the side. Darryl McCormack gives it away, but Josh Belts couldn't keep that one in play for Hale. Josh Belts was telling me had a little bit of a knock on his knee at Kookaburras training yesterday and was worried whether he'd be available for today. Of course, he did get a fracture of his kneecap in 2017 at the International Festival of Hockey in Melbourne and was out of the game for a long period of time. And the last thing he needs is another injury, because he'd had a couple before that had just delayed his progress in the national team. It's a really well-timed tackle from Gill. Ball goes up in the air. And again, there's nothing doing. It's play on as Spencer shoots, and it's Spencer who scores, who gets a second, and Hale are not happy. And the umpires are going to confer. I must admit, I thought that went up into the Hale player's body off the stick of Gill. But we will wait and see. Spencer is claiming the goal at the moment. So the umpires are going to confer. And the goal has been given. Well, Hale will feel they've been a little hard done by there, I think. And now they have a much bigger hill to climb. Josh Belts wants to get on with it quickly. Take nothing away, though, from Fremantle Cockburn. They played on quickly. Deavin with a good pass to pick out Declan Spencer, and it was a good finish past Hen Haran. Wallace now did well to just get ahead of Aaron Hazel. Wallace gets another free hit, and Hazel has given away a penalty corner. And he's got a yellow card, Aaron Hazel. Well, Hazel with a wry smile on his face. So 5 minutes now. There are 7.5 left in this quarter, and Hazel will be off for 5 of those. So Hale need to take advantage of the extra player if they can. McCulloch lines up again at the first battery. Pretty sure it's going to go to him. Jeff Cock is at the second, and Cock looking very relaxed. So just waiting for the Fremantle players to get behind the goal line. Comes out, it goes to Cock. Great save, Rennie, and a double save, and it's going to be a long corner. And that was travelling, but it was a good height for a keeper to save it, but even so, a good save. Comes out again. In it goes from Cock this time. Appeals for a penalty corner from Hale. Nothing doing. And Fremantle can breathe a sigh of relief. And the lesson for Hale from that second goal is play to the whistle. They stopped. Hayden Belts, good pass from him. Releases Bowen. Bowen gets it inside the circle. It was running away from McCulloch the whole time. It's a long corner being given, or it's a ball from the side, I think. Didn't quite go into the corner. Oh, Josh Belts running into the circle, and just as it dropped, great eyes from Gill to just take it away. So Hale really trying to push for a goal while they have the man advantage. Comes back to Braden King. That's a good pass to Joe Welsh. Welsh to the baseline now, across the face of goal. Ricochets up over the baseline. Long corner to Hale. Josh Belt squares it to Jorgensen now. Jorgensen straight down the middle, and it's wide that time. Shot on the turn from Gray. It was McCulloch, my apologies, not Gray. And the clock is continuing to count down. They've asked the clock to stop, and it has now. And McCormick just getting a knock on the hand. So just under 6 minutes left now in this third quarter. Still 2.5 minutes on the side for Aaron Hazel. Jack Welsh will get this under control. Faced with Jorgensen, looks to cut infield. Pass is a very good one to Bird. Bird weaving his way into the circle, played it across the face of goal to Keema, but the defence was there for Hale to sweep it clear. That was Gray that time. Long corner, Nick Tate over the ball for Fremantle Cockburn, and miscommunication between him and Xander Frazier. There's still over 5 minutes left in this quarter. Hale, you feel, need and would desperately want a goal before they go into the final break. Laid back, but there's nobody there. Well, nobody there in a blue shirt, put it that way. McPherson. It's going to be Hale ball from the side. Joe Welsh goes back to David Guest, who really was asking way too much there of Braden King. I think King was just looking what was on before the pass came. Braden King, of course, who was part of the Danks Superstar Challenge last year. If you haven't seen that, you can go to YouTube and check that out. A number of challenges from the top players in the top clubs here in Western Australia. Into the circle, great run again, that time from Jeff Cock. And he's won another penalty corner for Hale. They're fifth now. Jeff Cock, of course, who was runner-up in the Olympians medal 2013 to current Kookaburras captain Aaron Zalewski. I just wonder whether they'll go with Cock again, because he struck it well. Gray makes his way down to the baseline this time. And Cock is the sole player at the sole battery, with Josh Belts doing the trapping. Again, good running from the first runner. Great save from Rennie once more. Appeals for a foot, and it did just catch the foot that time of Sam Ashton. So Rennie again, just showing his experience. Good save, and the ricochet off his pads, he managed to keep the ball down to avoid the reward of a penalty corner. Welsh gets it again on halfway, and he'll get the ball from the side now. Jack Welsh, lovely skills, just takes him round his namesake Joe Welsh. Welsh into the circle he goes. Great tackle to take that off the stick of Lachlan. And a decision changed in the end from the umpire. I think he'd have been lynched by the Hale players if that decision had stood. Over the top it goes, and it's going to break kindly now. They need to get players forward. It's 2-on-3 though. Comes back to Lewis. Lewis, what can he do? Wins a penalty corner. So another chance for Hale now. Their sixth penalty corner. Oh, that was good work by Lewis. There was very little on, and they were outnumbered defensively as they were attacking. .30 left on the side by my clock for Aaron Hazel. And McCulloch is back on the pitch this time around, as so too is Hayden Belts, their regular injector. Benji Austin goes back to the second battery. So will it be McCulloch? Will it be Austin? Will they try a variation, because Rennie has done pretty well with the initial shot? Comes out, it goes to McCulloch. It's low and it's wide. Try to switch it up and go to Ben Rennie's right-hand side. And had it been on target, it may well have just snuck inside the post, but it went the wrong side of the post for the Hale fans. Now this is, at the moment, going to be a big result for Fremantle. It will see them jump ahead of Hale if it stays like this on the league table, and in a very close league table. Anything can happen. It'll be the halfway stage for Fremantle. They will have played their 11 matches. Hale still have one to play against Melville. They haven't, I believe, rearranged a date. That game was called off because so many of the players had COVID in the Hale side. Just a touch, taking it over the sideline now. And I can tell you, Fremantle Cockburn back to their full quota of players. So they did really well, defending for 5 minutes, a man down. And it's missed by everybody except the attacker inside the circle. And there he is. Aaron Hazel gets a second. Fremantle get a third. And you feel that that may well be game over for Hale. Hazel back on. The defence missing it. And Hazel with just Henharan to beat. So Hale 0, Fremantle Cockburn 3. It'll be a happy time in the bar for Tim Deavin, who spent so much time at this club, coming back and getting a victory. And as I said, Fremantle Cockburn have not won here for 5 years. So this is a very big result. Hale, though, not giving up. Rennie came out. No touch on that. It'll be a Fremantle Cockburn ball. And again, the wily Jimmy McPherson just taking his time and slowing the ball down over to the side as Lawther now. Again, delays a little bit longer, pings it up the sideline. Should break for Hazel. He should get there first. He does. Hazel just flicks it in the air, and he's taken out that time by Welsh. And that will be clearly a yellow card this time to Joe Welsh. So with 36 seconds left on the clock, Joe Welsh will be off the field of play for pretty much the first 5 minutes of the final quarter. Comes wide to Nick Tate. It's just falling away now for Hale. As the rain starts to fall. Didn't think we'd get through the game without any rain. And that's just adding insult to injury for the home fans. Swirling rain blowing into the main stand. And that was drilled to the back post by Lawther. Nobody really there. And that will be the last play of the third quarter. It's been a very good one if you're a Fremantle Cockburn fan. 2 goals in that quarter. One from Declan Spencer and a second for Aaron Hazel, coming off back on the pitch after being sim-binned for 5 minutes. And that means that at the final break, it is Hale 0, Fremantle Cockburn 3.
It's the big one. Danks Furniture's end of financial year clearance sale. Up to 50% off locally made lounge suites, dining tables and designer Nordic furniture. Danks Furniture, the comfort of home.
Welcome back to Hale Turf, the final quarter about to get underway, and it's going to be a real uphill battle for the home side, trailing by 3 goals to 0. Again, I'd just like to acknowledge the bunting group From remote mine sites to residential homes, the Bunting Group delivers quality assured, cost-effective building or maintenance services to meet your needs. And if you do have a building project, please contact the Bunting Group, who are supporting Hale Hockey Club. And also the Varsity Bar, coming soon to Innaloo at the old Sizzler site. That will be opening in the next few months. And again, we thank them for their support. Fremantle in a very strong position. Fremantle Cockburn leading by 3-0 with 15 minutes to go. And Hale a player down. Joe Welsh with 4.5 minutes in the sin bin. And Fremantle have got the chance really to stretch themselves with the goals they're going to get. Guest gets that under control for Hale. Lewis working hard, but Lowther should get there. Leaves it behind for Hayden Belts. Throws it to the air. Gill brought it down well. Short pass to Jimmy McPherson. Good work again from Hayden Belts, though. Had his stick down. He was looking to find Lewis, but went through all the way to Xander Fraser. And now it's Jack Welsh looking to mount another attack for Fremantle Cockburn. Jack Welsh, who holds the ball up so well and then has an acceleration, just a turn of pace that takes him away from a defender. Hale again, appeal after appeal. Eventually they got the free hit. Now it's Josh Belts driving forward. There's no one ahead of him for Hale. There's just 6 black shirts. He's still got the ball somehow, lifts it to the air, and then, well, it was a tackle that came in the end from Patrick Lawther. It'll be a free hit to Hale just outside the circle. Belts again, lifts it in the air, goes the 5 metres. Gill tries to bring it down. He's inside the circle, looks to go towards the goal. Lifts it again. Gill knocks it off his stick once more, and it's a penalty corner this time. And obviously it was stick before ball, and Gill's saying, well, what am I supposed to do? And that's been an argument for many years, to be honest, since the ball has been allowed to be lifted above the knee. And certainly there are some old pros who believe that if a player wants to do that, you should be allowed to smash his stick. Now this is probably the most important penalty corner of the match, because Hale need to get a goal now if they're going to have any hope of mounting a comeback. McCulloch at the first battery. You just feel is the main choice. Guest is at the second. In it comes. It's a good trap. It's flicked well. Good save again by Rennie. Belts brings it down, top of the circle. And saying that it caught his foot. And Josh Belts is questioning whose foot. And then a shake of the head. I think, though, it certainly looked like it may well have as it was coming down. And McCormack, and you're just going to have to keep tabs on Fremantle, just trying to slow things down when they get a free hit, as you'd expect. Deavin put under pressure, but somehow gets the free hit. Belts just running down the line. Deavin pulls away from Lewis. Lewis came back, got a touch. Guest gets it under control for Hale and found a foot. Guest looks to get on with things quickly. Came off the stick of Bird, and now Bird gets a chance to go on the attack. And he looked to push that into the path of Kima, but just too much pace on the pass. Harrison Kima, hail from the lower Great Southern Hockey Association before he joined Fremantle. Well, Gill, that had to be obstruction. He just turned his body on the attacker as he was coming in to tackle, and the rules say you cannot use your body to prevent a tackle being made. And it's Hale inside the circle again. Gill has stolen it away from McCulloch. Guest now. It's all Hale, but they cannot beat Ben Rennie at the moment. Comes wide to King, plays it early. Good pass to Gray. Gray into the circle he goes, looking for a foot. Didn't find it. McCulloch. Well, then the whistle did go just before McCulloch shot, and Of course, McPherson has to come out, have a chat. There's a little bit of belts getting in between them. And McPherson really enjoying the banter out there. So it is now the 8th penalty corner of the match for Hale. Yet to score from any of them. And we have 11.5 minutes left on the clock. So Hayden Belts makes his way down to the baseline. Declan Spencer's just limped back to the halfway line for Fremantle Cockburn. He's in fact gone off. So they will make a change immediately. And it's a great deflection, but it's gone wide. Well, I thought that was heading in. It was Lewis, I think, coming in. And it looked like it just caught the side netting for a split second. I thought it might have gone the right side of the post. And Hale had got a goal back. But again, we see McCormack again eating up valuable seconds. Gill's pass up the sideline. It took a touch. Tate leaves it for Deavin. Good pass forward again from Deavin. Into the circle for Fremantle Cockburn. And it's Hazel who's penalised this time. Is it? No, it's going to be a Fremantle free hit outside the circle. So Jorgensen, I think it was. Well, it's hard to tell. Guest being spoken to, Jorgensen being spoken to. In fact, we're going to have a bully. Well, the crazy thing is the time is being wasted here. The clock has not stopped. And the umpire is just, well, there was just a waste of at least 30 seconds of action there. McCormack off the stick of Ashton, and it will be ball from the side for Fremantle Cockburn. Darryl McCormack, the man from Darwin. Took part in 2 Arafura games for Darwin or Northern Territory in the hockey. Harrison Kemar just took Belt's body first, ball second. And Lewis, good early pass to Jorgensen. Jorgensen head up, top of the circle, nice turn again. But it's stolen back once more by Hale. Hazel won't get on the end of that one. So we're into the final 10 minutes, 9.5 minutes left. Hale looking for a goal from somewhere. Benji Austin, who was dispossessed in the first minute, was driving forward there. McCormack comes across, touches it over the sideline. McCulloch now, scorer of 4 goals last week on debut. Trying to get another one for his team to spark something. And there was a stick check there before he lost control. Comes back to King. Just showed a little bit too much of the ball, and Hazel picks it up. 2 of them would have played in the under-21s together. Braden King, of course, who was the player of the tournament in the national under-21s. Jorgensen now gets it back off a ricochet. Guest getting forward, trying to spark something for Hale. Good work again by Gill. Kabindraj Gill, who played the Sultan of Johor Cup in 2019, replaced a West Australian player in Tom Harvey. And Guest penalised that time as just left the body hanging. Deavin will be very happy with his team's performance tonight. Almost at the halfway stage in the last quarter. Just under 8 minutes left. Gill under pressure. And it's been stolen well by Lewis. Into the circle, across the face of goal. The Rennie's there. It will break at the top, but just ran away from Josh Belts. Good defence again from Fremantle Cockburn. And on the counter-attack, Hazel comes out. Josh Belts picks it up for Hale. Comes out to King now. Jorgensen deep in the heart of defence. Austin. Down the line he goes. Great willingness to try and get on the end of that from Faulkner, but good defence once more from Fremantle Cockburn. Frazier looking for the free hit. It's gone Hale's way. They've got another chance to get forward. And with things so tight at the top of the ladder, goals could be very important at the end of the season in terms of goal difference. Cock, I think, was the player penalised. And look at the time again. Just softly hit forward. McCormack eats up some more valuable seconds and throws it to the air. Jorgensen brings it down. Seen him do that several times today. And over the, well, no, it didn't go over the side. Jorgensen does well. This time it'll go up off the stick of Deavin and over the sideline. Wasn't that a push in the back, but play on. Good work by Cock. And that is a definite penalty corner. So Hale, I'm not sure these penalty corners are an advantage for them at the moment. They get their 9th of the match. Still yet to get the ball past Ben Rennie, their former goalkeeper. Hayden Belts again takes that long walk down to the baseline. This time it's Jeff Cock waiting at the top of the circle. Alongside him is Josh Bowen. Just wonder whether just to slip the ball to Bowen, change the angle of the shot. Comes out, it's trapped. Cock sweeps again. He's gone wide. It looked as if Rennie's stick may have got a touch, but it just maybe just hit the turf as it was going past. So McCormack again over the ball for Fremantle Cockburn. Under 6 minutes left. A mistake at the back. They recovered well though. And it's another free hit to Fremantle Cockburn, taken at least 15 metres away from where the offence occurred, but they won't mind. It just kills more time. And Matt Bird would have known exactly what he was doing then. That's a mistake at the back again from Gobindraj Gill. And Hale get another chance from a long corner to mount one more attack. King. And that's a good pass to King. Can he get in inside the circle? He does. Chance to come in now for Guest. Guest looks to sweep it across the face of goal. It's brilliant defence in the end from Lawther that just dribbled it out and pushed it over the sideline. Patrick Lawther, who was originally with Melville as a junior. Bowen looked to play it infield. Nobody there for Hale. And now they could get caught on the counter-attack. Fremantle happy to throw people forward. Keema bursting forward. In support was Welsh. Comes infield now, Deavin. Deavin keeps possession well. Gives it back to Spencer. Now Gill. And Gill loses it again, and Hale have a chance. Hayden Belts now looking to play it down the line for Faulkner. Faulkner, was he impeded? Not according to the umpire. Certainly from this angle, it just looked as if the defender ran across the line of Faulkner. That's a great trap, though, by Sam Ashton. Releases it to Cock across the face of goal. They've got one back. And Faulkner, for all his efforts, pulls one back for Hale. And it may not be important today, but it could be very important later in the season. I mentioned how tight the league table is at this halfway point in the season. And goal difference is really the difference separating Fremantle in 5th and 4 other teams. So that was at the start of play. Lovely turn again from Aaron Hazel. Lewis gives chase. Hazel into the circle. just prevented by a brilliant tackle by Braden King. Wallace now goes back to King again. Given away, and Tate doesn't get it under control. Hale got a chance to attack quickly if they get the ball moving. Good run through the middle from Lewis, but nobody saw it. Josh Belts, and that feeds into space now. Josh Bowen, closed down though by Jack Welsh. We've got just under 3 minutes left for Hale to mount a last fight back. If they can get a second in the next minute, who knows what could happen. Welsh kicks it forward. Guest wanting the ball from the ball boy quickly. Oh, and the ball hitting another ball. That was, well, let's say it was a rather good shot. Good defence again at the top of the circle. Welsh trying to do some good work. Into the D it goes. It's broken. Carney, there is another goal. And they are right back in this with very little time left. And Faulkner gets a second. Well, Fremantle no doubt thought this was all over. And now they're going to have to really concentrate in this last minute and 58 seconds. Well, an exciting 2 minutes coming your way now. Surely Hale cannot finish with a draw when it looked like they were dead and buried. Possession given back to Hale by Fremantle. Jorgensen. Fremantle not surprisingly dropping numbers back now defensively. Jorgensen, a good run forward from him. Was that deliberately over the baseline from McCormick? Not according to the umpire in that corner. Of course, that is a penalty corner, and umpires have been told to make sure they give it now in 2022. Ricocheting across the face of goal. It's there! Oh, no, it's not been given. Well, Faulkner thought he had a hat-trick for a split second. Well, there's still under a minute left. Brought down by Declan Spencer. Comes wide now to Aaron Hazel. He has 2 to his name. He could round it out with a hat-trick. Great pass to Jack Welsh. Jack Welsh will just take it to the corner, feeds it back to Hazel. He doesn't do what I thought he'd do. Hazel across the face of goal, ricochets up, and trying to be prevented from getting on with it is Bird. And Bird will have to get a card for that. And he does. Matt Bird gets a yellow card, but there's only 15 seconds, and what he's done is he's just delayed the restart by 10 seconds, and that's where, I'm sorry, I think the umpires should change the clock back and add those 10 seconds on, because that's ridiculous. Faulkner. Josh Belts now into the circle. It goes deflected, and it's hit the post and gone wide. Well, would you believe it? That was the final play of the match, and Hale have hit the post. Rennie beaten, but it is going to be a victory for Fremantle. And Hale cannot believe they didn't manage to salvage a draw from that, but credit to Fremantle Cockburn. What a performance they put on today. Goals from Declan Spencer and 2 from Aaron Hazel. And in the end, it was Jack Faulkner who sparked the revival with 2 late goals within a minute of each other, right in the final 5 minutes of the match. But the final score here is Hale 2, Fremantle Cockburn 3.
It's the big one. Danks Furniture's end of financial year clearance sale. Up to 50% off locally made lounge suites, dining tables and designer Nordic furniture. Danks Furniture, the comfort of home.